Hello friends, welcome back to the session. In the last video, we were discussing about arrays concept. What exactly arrays are. We have broadly discussed why arrays are required and like, what they are. And we have discussed about types of array like one dimension array and multi-dimension array. And we have broadly discussed about declaring a one dimension array in Java and working with one dimension array. Like in that series, we have clearly covered different aspects of one dimension array, what is valid, how the declaration will be carried out, and what is the valid declaration and what are the invalid declarations, right? And also not only declaration but also we have discussed how to initialize them, right? Okay. Now, during the discussion, we have also covered a point key for Java. Every array is an object, and in that context, we have also discussed different classes available in Java, which is available at the language level but not available for the programmer. We have also checked out all the classes from which the arrays are derived or array objects are created, right? Starting from int boolean to float and all. So we have discussed everything in detail. In case you missed that video, you have not covered that video, it's my honest request, please go through that video, learn one dimension array, then come back here so that we can move it forward. Now let us go through one requirement, then we'll understand the requirement of different kinds of array in Java and how Java treats other arrays, right? In the last video, I have also said that the next video will be of multi-dimensional array, right? Okay. So today's entire session is dedicated to this multi-dimension array only. Before getting into multi-dimension array, sorry. Before getting into multi-dimension array, let us go through an example. Suppose, listen very carefully. Suppose I want to store the income of few movies released in the month of maybe January, right? So this is my requirement. I want to store income of few movies released in a month in some manner. Means what my requirement is, let us understand quite in a broad manner. Suppose I want to create a table. Here in a table, what I'll do, suppose I want to keep the track of few movies that are released recently, and I want to store the income they have made in few months. Suppose this is month number 1, this is month number 2, this is month number 3, month number 4, and month number 5, right? This is movie 1, this is movie 2, this is movie 3, and this is movie 4. Let's say 4 movies are released and I want to track from the day of their release in 5 months how they have like what they have income in the last 5 months, right? Okay. Now suppose the first movie was the biggest hit. In the first month, this particular movie income, let's say 10 crores. Second month, the same movie incomes 8 crores. Third month 7 crores, and fourth month same 7, fifth month 6 crores. So these are the income generated from which movie? Movie 1, right? Now for movie 2, when I come to movie 2 is a great movie but not as successful as M1, right? So definitely this is the most successful one, but M2 is not as successful as M2, right? So M2 got 8 crores in the first month, 6 crores in the second month, maybe 2 crores in the third month, but for the fourth month and fifth month it is not there in the market. After 3 months this movie is gone out of the market. So uh, yes, the viewers are not interested to view that movie after 3 months. Clear? I repeat, movie 1 is there for 5 months, movie 2 is there for only 3 months. Let's talk about movie 3. It has a different story. Movie 3 comes with a very little opening, let's say 5 crores here, 3 crores, then it is gone out of the market. And movie 1 only valid for 1 month, only valid for 1 month. Second month onwards, it was not there in the market. Now, you might have thought, sir, you are there to teach us, discuss something about multidimensional array, and now you are talking about movies and all. No, see, we need to relate this one because this is a practical example. This might be a requirement. We'll understand from here how double dimension array, multi-dimension array mean to Java and why. We'll understand that one. Before that, make sure you remember that point. For Java, every array is an object. We have discussed that particular in the last video. And for every object, we have also discussed about the classes, right? And we have also clearly shown you how the classes, how to get the name of the classes, right? Now, look at here. Look at here. If I want to store the income of the movies in this way, can you please tell me whether one dimension array will help me? No. Multi-dimension array, to be very honest, to be very exact, what we need a double dimension array. And you can see this particular array is basically of 5 rows and 5 columns. We have 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. We have 0, 1, 2, 3. Sorry, this is 4 cross 5. We have 4 rows and 5 columns, right? So the total 20 values we can store. So double dimension array, what my requirement is. And from this point, maximum of people who belongs to science background, who knows mathematics a bit, definitely understand this is a matrix representation, right? This is a matrix representation, that is m cross n. M is the number of rows, n is the number of columns, right? Okay. Now here, can you observe this one very carefully. For the first movie, there is no wastage of memory. All the 5 cells are filled up, no problem at all. But can you see, for the second movie, I need only 3 cells, but remaining 2 are complete wastage. Similarly, for the next one, only 2 cells are used and remaining 3 cells are wastage. Similarly, the last one, only 1 cell is used and remaining all the cells are wastage. So if we are going to enhance the performance, enhance the readability, performance of the program, don't you think this wastage should be properly managed? This kind of wastage. The first problem is array itself is static. Again, utilization memory is in a constraint, right? Is a limitation. Again, with this constraint, if we are going for double dimension array in matrix format, the same story happens. So performance will be 100% degraded, right? So to address this issue, Java says what? Java says, I am not okay with this kind of matrix of matrix. So double dimension array, if talk about double dimension array, this is specifically for Java, not for any other language. The 2D array in Java does not believe in matrix format, and the reason I have already discussed with you. Does not believe in matrix. Now the next question is how it believes, how it manages all that. Remember, to overcome this wastage of memory, Java introduces a concept called as array of array, right? So no more matrix representation. Now there is a concept called as array of array. So all the multi-dimension arrays, if we require, are not called as not represented in a matrix format like m cross n cross something. No, it is always in a concept called as array of arrays. We'll look into that, don't worry. What is the advantage of arrays of arrays? Advantage is we need to address this one. We need to reduce the wastage of memory. This is the only reason for which this matrix format of double dimension array is replaced with array of array. This is, again I repeat, this is strictly for Java, not for any other programming language, right? So let us understand how Java manage all that, right? Okay, we'll see that one through declaration and through the entire thing, right? So let us understand how to declare a double dimension array. So in Java, if you want to declare a double dimension array, declaration is quite same as 1D array. Instead of a single dimension, we have to specify double dimension, two empty brackets followed by new, then int, then I can write 2 and 3. See, let us see what is happening there. So now if we are declaring like this, definitely it is going to create an array of 2 rows and 3 columns. 2 rows and 3 columns. Definitely you will say, sir, if it will be 2 rows and 3 columns, the basic idea is something like this. The basic idea is something like this, right? 0, 1, 2 are columns, 0, 1 as rows, right? This is valid for all. This might be valid for all other programming languages, but for Java, this is completely invalid. Make sure you remember this point. This is completely invalid. Now let us understand how Java manage all that. So in case of a double dimension array, since we are talking about arrays of arrays, let us understand how it behaves. So what is the dimension? Dimension is two rows and 3 columns. So we can read it as 2 is the base dimension, 3 is the next dimension, right? So what is the base value? The base value is 2. Immediately it will plot like this. This is 0, this is 1, right? And x of 0, as we say, array of arrays. This is now an array, this is also an array. Now this particular one, let me change the color. This particular one will pointing to one more single dimension array having how many cells? 3 cells. Similarly, this one will be pointing to another one for 3 cells. And ARR, as I have declared with the name ARR, is a reference variable to this. Got my point? So this is no way a double dimension. This is no way a matrix format. This is always array of arrays format. Let us understand why I am calling this one as arrays of array, right? So this is the arrangement. Remember, this one is the reference name to this array, and for this particular array, what is the reference name? We'll going to discuss now. From this diagram, one thing is clear. If I'll talk about array, definitely you will say, sir, this is a name for double dimension array. If I'll ask you, can you please confirm what is the type of ARR? The type will be double dimension integer array. Clear? ARR. Now, if I am writing ARR of 0, immediately which cell? This particular cell. This particular cell. Since this is a cell which is used as the reference to these three, this particular array, we can say ARR of 0 is a single dimension array. Got my point? ARR is a double dimension array. ARR of 0 is a single dimension array. And the whole representation, this is one array, this is one array. So this ARR is called as arrays of arrays. I hope you got the clarity. So instead of representing that one in a matrix format, now Java believes in these arrays of arrays concept, right? I know the biggest doubt will there be in your mind, sir. Previously you are proudly said ki Java manages all that and you have taken 2 and 3, the same story happens. If the first one have 3 values and second one has 2 values, again there is a wastage of memory. Don't worry, we'll address this issue. But to start with, let us begin with that. So the story is, once we have creating that, we can, and we have just now discussed, this is the story, right? Okay. Now the remaining things that we have discussed in single dimension array all are okay. The name of this array is ARR, right? Now if I print ARR, do you know what is going to be printed? It will be printed like, since it's a double dimension array, double dimension, which kind of array? Integer array. It will be print like double open double square bracket I for integer at the rate some hash code. And what it confirms? ARR is a double dimension array. Similarly, if I am writing ARR of 0, now the story will be completely different. The story will be like single open bracket now with at the rate with I followed by at the rate and some hash code, right? So ARR is a double dimension array, ARR of 0 is a single dimension array. Similarly, ARR of 1, the same story. You can treat this hash code as the identification of this particular array. You can treat that one, doesn't matter. Now, but if I print ARR of 0 and 0, what it going to be referred? Let us understand. See, when I say ARR of 0 means this one. ARR of 0 is the reference name for this particular array. So if I say ARR of 0, this is the reference value. Like ARR is the reference name for this particular object. Similarly, for this particular object, the name will be, the reference name will be ARR of 0, I'm sorry. Now, ARR of 0 and 0, this cell, the index is like this. ARR of 0 and 0. So this cell, since we have not initialized the value into anything, as per the definition, it will be initialized to the default value. So if I'll print ARR of 0 and 0, definitely the value I'll get is 0. Otherwise, if I try to initialize that one, ARR of 0 followed by 0 is equal to 90, immediately the value will be 90. Got my point? So clearly you can see this particular one is a single dimension array and this particular one is a double dimension array. So double dimension array is the combination of single dimension arrays. So the concept is called as array of array. So there is no more a matrix format in Java. It is always arrays of arrays concept. So let us see how the things will go on. Then we'll go to the next example and we'll discuss few more conclusions. Let us understand this particular one first. Let us go back to the PowerShell view. Sorry, it's here, this PowerShell view. Let us create the test.java. We'll create a test.java and in that we'll see how the double dimension array can be created and how we could be able to write that one. Sorry. Let us go to the class test public static void main. This is simple, right? Let us create that one. Int double, we're going for ARR equals to new int. We have just discussed. Don't worry, we'll come to the conclusion bit later. Now, since we are creating this, now we have created an array of base 2. And the remaining one dimension arrays like that. Suppose I'm writing, I'll print ARR. We'll understand every concept. Then ARR of 0 followed by ARR of 0 and 0. Now, as per the discussion, the first one will be a double dimension array. We have clearly seen. The second one is a single dimension array, and the third one is a value, right? So let's see how it behaves. Whether the thing that we have discussed is absolutely right, or we have any deviation in that. Test.java. We'll go like test.java. The code should compile fine. There should not be any problem in compiling that one. Let us execute that particular program. See, the first one is a double dimension array, right? Because what we find here is two open brackets, I is for integer class, @ then some hash code. This is for double dimension because we are finding double open bracket. Here one open bracket means it is a single dimension array. Next one is 0, because we know since array is an object, whenever we are declaring the array, the cell elements of the array will be automatically initialized to what? 0, right? And if you want to cross check, if you want to put some value, you can also use the scanner class. I am not using the scanner class here. You can use that one for to experiment and to write in input output, because I have already discussed that one in the last video. You can work on that accordingly. Sorry, semicolon is missing. Code should compile fine. That should not be any problem. Now it will show 30. The first two are fine, but the next one is 30, right? So now I think you could able to understand how this particular one will looks like, right? So this is no more a double dimension. This is the basic that you need to understand, right? Still our question is unanswered because we are in a process to create dynamic single dimension arrays, right? We'll do that, don't worry. Now one more thing I need to tell you after that. I think up to this you don't have any problem. You can happily, yes, you can happily understood and happily create this one, right? Now the question is, can you please tell me what is the length of this array? Yes, please. Can you please tell me what is the length of these arrays? Because if you follow any programming language, any other programming language, you will say, sir, this is 2 cross 3. So immediately the length is how much? 6. But here, remember, the length is only the base value. And the base value is how much? 2. Base value is 2. This is what I'm not saying. What you can do, since we are dealing with objects, directly what we can do, we can go with the name of the array followed by the instance variable that is there. So length is the public instance variable which will give you the length of C. The length is 2. The length is 2, right? So don't feel like since 2 elements, 2 rows are there, 3 columns are there, the total length of this one will be 6. No way. The total is only the base value, the first value, and you don't have to calculate. Array has its own variable called as length. Remember, here length is not a method, it's a variable, right? This is a public instance variable declared in the object. Fine. Now I think up to this there should not be any problem. Now we are in a different process. Let me clear all this. Now my requirement is, I am not okay with this. I'm not okay with this. I want here, I want 3. Here my requirement may be 2. Maybe I'll go with this with 1, like that. So this is now my requirement. As per the number of months that movie is played, for as per that one I have to select the size, right? I am not okay with even size for all the single dimension arrays, right? Okay. For that, see how Java will help me. It's very easy. So here the base address I have to give. What is the base address you want to take? I want to take the base address as 3, but I don't know how many columns are there. So what you need to do, you need to leave this particular line blank. That is the only thing. Remember here one point, the first dimension, this particular dimension, first dimension is mandate. Remember, first dimension is mandate. You cannot omit that. Second, we can. Third also we can, but the base you cannot ignore. You have to specify the size, right? Why I am declaring all that? Because I know the base address. I know the base address. Remaining what is going to happen, I don't know. As per my requirement, I will declare. Right? This is what we are talking about. Fine. Now, the next question. Suppose I'll try to print this one here. So definitely what will be the value? Immediately you say our base value is 3, so value length will be definitely 3. No problem. Great. Absolutely fine. You can cross check that one also. Next, if I'll try to print the value of, yes, the value of ARR, immediately what it is going to print? Same, like double square bracket, open square bracket, I is for integer, @ some hash code. Clear? What it says? Double dimension integer array. No problem in that. If you cross check, the same story will happen. Nothing in that. Let us cross check. The code should compile fine, and if you run that program, yeah, the length is 3, and this is as we discussed, right? Okay. Now let's get back. Now the question is, we have not created ARR of 0. Now see, if we are writing like this is an array which is going to be created. Now, since ARR is the name, that is a reference variable that is referencing to this particular array object. Now, my question is, ARR of 0, does it exist or not? It is not referring to anyone. That's fine. ARR of 0 is not referring to anything. We have not created. 1 also not created. 2 also not created. We have not created that one. But question is, these are exist or not? Yes, they are exist. Now if I'll print ARR of 0, now my question is, what is going to be printed? Yes, pause this video, think a bit, and after 1 minute resume this video. My question is, if I'll print ARR of 0, what will be the value of these 3 cells? See, these are not complete array. These are only a part of double dimension array. We have not completed, right? Now tell me, what is the type of ARR of 0? What is the type here? If I want to know the type, what is the type here? The type here is a single dimension array, right? Type here is a single dimension array, correct? If I get the class name, it will give me single dimension class, single dimension integer array class, right? Now that means ARR of 0 is definitely a reference variable which is referencing to some object. So it's a reference type, and if I'll print the value of a reference type which is not initialized to any object, the value I'll get definitely null. Remember this particular point. ARR of 0, if ARR of 0 is not pointing to any object, any single dimension array object, the default value will be what? Null. You can say, sir, why it is not 0? You have taken integer here. Why you said null? Because ARR of 0 is a single dimension array. It is not the thing which can contain the value, right? So ARR of 0 cannot contain value. It can refer to one more object. Like, can I store any value into ARR? No. ARR is only the name which will be referencing to a multi-dimension array. Similarly, ARR of 0 is a variable or is a reference variable which can refer to one more array, right? See, let's see, then we'll move ahead. The code should compile absolutely fine. There should not be any problem. Yeah, see, the value is null. The value is null, right? Since we have not assigned anything, and if you want to know that name, you know what to do. Get class dot yes get name. So you can find, we have already discussed that one. In case you don't know how to do that, please go back to that video. Now let us see The first base address we have done. We have done with this. We have done with this particular one. The name is ARR. It is referencing to this one. This is 0, this is 1, and this is 2. Now, I want exactly in this manner. Here I want 3. Here I want 2. Here I want maybe 4, maybe 3, whatever, maybe 2. So this is the structure I want to make. How do I? Things are very simple. See, I can write ARR of 0 equals to new int. How many cells, cells I require? I require 3. Now, similarly, ARR of 1, how many cells do I require? 2. Int followed by 2. ARR of 2 is equal to new int. Yes, that will be, 2. Now, can you see the first one is having 3 cells, second one is having 2 cells, third one is having 2 cells. If I'll follow the matrix, I have mandatory it should be 3, mandatory it should be 3 if I declare 3. But here the scenario is completely different, right? Now, after declaring this one, let's try to display the value of ARR of 0. See, till the time we have not created this particular one, not initialized this particular one, the value will be initialized to the default value, that is null. Once I have initialized, if I'll try to print, it will give me the name of the class followed by hash code. Please understand these 2 points. Since I have not initialized, the default value will be initialized automatically. And since this is a object type, definitely no default value, only null will be assigned, right? Same story with ARR of 1 and ARR of 2 also. This is not only limited for 0, right? You want to cross check, we can do that. Let us compile that program. Program should compile fine. See, null, till the time I have not initialized it, it will be null. Once I have initialized, can you please confirm what exactly it is getting printed? It is said now it is one dimension array, right? Previously I don't know how many cells you have taken because I have not initialized this one. So it will be initialized with null. Similarly, if I'll print, now you can tell me, if I'll print ARR of 0 followed by 0, what will be the value? I'll get default value, that is 0. Excellent, absolutely perfect, no problem in that. So I think this is the way how we can able to create a double dimension array as per our requirement without going for matrix representation. This is the beauty of arrays. Of this concept is called as what? Arrays of arrays. So Java does not follow matrix format for double dimension. It always format which format? It always uses array of arrays format, right? So these are few concepts I need to share with you regarding this double dimension, this multi-dimension or double dimension, like that. If it will be 3-dimension array, you know what to do. You have to write like this followed by this. See, the base address is pretty much required. If I'll talk about a triple dimension array, 3-dimension array, the thing is, the story will be like this. Remember this point. Base address is 3. So this is 0, 1 and 2, 3. Now, since this is a 3-dimension array, now A of 0 will be a 2-dimension array, right? This A of 1 is now a 2-dimension array. A of 2 is now a 2-dimension array. Now what these 3 can do? These 3 can again refer to 1-dimension array. Now these are definitely should be 1-dimension array. Now they can refer some more elements. Understood? Got my point? Suppose here I have made 2, here I have made 1, here I have made 1, and I have made something like this. Here I have made 4 elements. Look at this. Now if I'll say, now if I'll say ARR of 0, can you please tell me what I'll going to get? I'll going to get how many open brackets? 3 open brackets, because 3 dimension array followed by I at the rate hash code. Clear? Now, if I try to print ARR of 0 and 0, yes, you got it right. It will be double dimension array followed by hash code. Clear? Now, if I'll, sorry, this is A of 0 only, I'm sorry. A of 0 only. If I'll try to print A of 0 and 0, yes, this will be single dimension array, right? And if I'll print A of 0 of 0 of 0, the value will be how much? 0, because these are the area where values will be stored, right? So make sure you understand the arrangement of elements in multi-dimension array of core Java or Java programming concept, right? So you need to understand all this. So arrays in Java is completely different from arrays in any other programming language. So while working with Java, make sure you understand all these points, right? So that is vital. So double dimension array is same, like if you understood double dimension array, similarly multi-dimension array, you can happily do that. The only thing you need to remember is, it is not a kind of matrix format, it is a kind of which format? Arrays of arrays concept, right? And we have also discussed how to create, how to declare, and how to initialize, right? Okay. The next thing you might ask me, sir, can we declare and initialize in one line? Yes, we can. Absolutely we can. See how we can. Let us see. Now, I want to create a double dimension array. Fine. The first one is absolutely this. You cannot put any number here. Remember this point. You cannot put any number here. Now, I want to create double dimension array. 20, 40. For the next one, I want 2 elements, right? Now, if I'll try to print ARR dot length, can you please confirm what is the value? What will be the value of this particular one? Yes, the base value. What is the base value? Yes, what is the base value? Can you please arrange this one? Can you please arrange this particular numbers in a diagram manner? So it will be like how many columns are there? Column number 1 and column number 2. So the base will be 2. Clear? And this one will be referring to one more one dimension array having how many elements? 3 elements. The second one will be, yes, 2 elements. This will be 10, this will be 20, this will be 40. Similarly, this will be 45 and this will be 67. Right? And the name of this one is ARR. So if I print ARR of 0, can you please confirm what will be the output? ARR of 0, this one, what will be the output? Yes, you got it right. Open bracket, integer, hash code, right? You are absolutely right. If I am writing ARR of 0 followed by 2, can you please confirm what will be the value? ARR of 0, 2. Now ARR of 0 means this one. ARR of 0 followed by 2. ARR of 0 followed by 2. 0, 1, 2. So the answer will be how much? 40. Clear? Okay. So if you want to arrange like this, you can also able to arrange like this. If you want to cross check the values, let us go for that. First of all, let us print ARR. Second, let us print ARR of 0. Now let us print the entire value of ARR of 0, like ARR of 0. Fine. How do I print? I can also take the help of a loop that we have already discussed in the one dimension case. So I'll go and import, I'll check with import java.util.array. I'll import this one so that I can write the things in one line. System.out.println. I want to print like arrays. Sorry, arrays dot toString followed by ARR of 0. Similarly, we'll check with the other two also, other one also. I'll go with ARR of 1. I'll go with ARR of 1. Let us cross check. The code should compile fine. There should not be any problem. There is a problem. There is a problem. What it says, I think spelling mistake or something like that. Let me cross check. Cannot find symbol arrays. Java import java.util.array. Hold on. Sorry. The code should compile. Fine, I think there is some mistake. Let me cross check. Java.util.array. I think I have made some mistake. It's ARRAYS. I have imported the wrong package. Actually, it should be arrays, not array. Like, it should be arrays. Yes, I made it right. Yeah, now it's fine. Let us cross check. The code should compile fine without any problem. Yeah, it's fine. Now Java test. See, let us write that one so that we can understand what exactly is printing. ARR plus. So here what I'll write ARR of 0. Then it is plus. Here I can write values at ARR 0. Similarly, the remaining one here I'll write ARR 1 followed by plus, ARR 1 followed by plus. Yeah, also values of ARR 1. Now that will give me clear-cut clarity in the output, right? Okay, the first one is length. Compile this program, code should compile fine. Let me cross check. Now this is length because the base is 2, right? Now ARR, this is how many open brackets are there? 2 open brackets, means this is double dimension array. First thing. Second, ARR of 0, how many open brackets are there? Only one. Only one, right? Since it is only one bracket, you can say this is one dimension array, right? How it is arranged? It will be arranged like this. First one will be 2. Second one, how many? 3 elements. It's like this. This will be 10, 20, 40. The next one will be 45, 67. You can arrange like this, right? And the name is ARR. You can clearly see value at ARR of 0 is 10, 20, 40. 10, 20, 40. Value at ARR 1 is 45, 67. Means the first one will contain 3 cells, the second one will contain 2 cells. So now the size can be different as per our requirement, and this is a beautiful concept produced by Java to manage memory wastage while using arrays, right? I hope you could able to understand this concept. The major thing is hands-on activity. You need to perform all these programs so that you can able to understand. Now what else you can do, you can go on writing for different two-dimension programs. You can input values into that using a scanner class. As if you can remember, in this is the previous program we have created. Yeah, this is the there are some programs I think we have created that one. I don't have that program right now in my system. In the last, you can refer to that in the last, from the last video, array part 1. There I have clearly mentioned how to use the scanner class to input values into the one dimension array. Similarly, here you need to have two for loops, one for loop followed by second for loop to input the values. You try it by yourself. In case you could not able to do that, I'll definitely put one more video, or I'll definitely put some links so that you can download some programs of double dimension array input and output, right? So for me, I think you can also able to do that. That's not a big deal. That's not a big deal at all, right? Okay, so this is all about single dimension array, double dimension array, or multi-dimension array concept in Java. Please make sure you understand all these concepts and you go on working with it. Once you have clear with all that, then the real flavor of Java, basically why Java is used, we'll go through from the next class onwards. This is language fundamental sessions are completed here. We have completed till array. We have completed different things including array here. We have covered all the things from identifier to array concept, right? Looping, if else, everything we have covered, and this is the last session of language fundamental class, right? This is the basic we need to cover. If somebody covers all the videos, I think he or she could be able to understand the remaining concepts of Java very quickly. So from the next video onwards, we will concentrate on OOPS concept, OOPS in Java. We'll concentrate entirely on OOPS. We'll see how Java supports various OOPS properties starting from class object to polymorphism, inheritance, all the concept. We'll see in detail. Once that will be completed, we'll again move forward. Few concepts like exception handling. We'll go through multiple threading, like that. A lot of separate things are there. We'll go through one by one, right? So thank you so much for watching this video. Please stay tuned for the next one. Thank you so much.